Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles, and today's video is another special compilation. It doesn't happen too often in World of Warships, but sometimes I get a bunch of World of Warships replays where what happens is amazing, funny, or possibly both combined, but doesn't last long enough to make it into its own video. And that's pretty much what's happened today in the 3 replays that you're going to see in today's World of Warships compilation. We're going to get the ball rolling with this effort sent in by Jim Kirk 1 in HMS Minotaur, the British Tier 10 cruiser. This is a clan battle, that's why there are only 7 ships on each side. Let's just go back and have a quick look at the battle loading screen, by the way, just in case you missed exactly what it is that Jim is facing in this particular clan battle. That's a 4 destroyer lineup, and Jim's team only have 2. Obviously, Jim's team has a lot more cruisers. But with 3 capture points and 4 destroyers to play with, the enemy team potentially hold a massive early game advantage, fighting for control of the capture points. But Jim's trying something today that he's never done before. For the couple of weeks prior to this game, Jim normally ran clan battles with the American Tier 10 cruiser, the Des Moines, or HMS Minotaur here, except with the smoke generator. Today, for the first time, he's trying out the radar consumable instead. This is a radar Minotaur, and also, as you'll note, equipped with a hydroacoustic search consumable. So Jim does have a couple of nasty surprises ready in case he runs into any of those enemy destroyers. There's a fair chance he's going to run into at least one of them. There are 3 capture points after all, and the enemy team does have 4 destroyers. And sure enough, up ahead, Capture Point Charlie is being capped. Friendly Shimakaze up ahead hasn't seen anything, so you can bet that there's at least 1 enemy destroyer up there. And one of them was momentarily spotted up there. I didn't catch what it was, but we know there's at least 1 enemy destroyer lying in wait. Jim's just getting himself into position, and then he's going to see what he can do about that. Any second now, he's going to fire up his radar. There it goes, and not 1. Oh no, not 1, but 4 enemy destroyers. We're going to need a bigger boat. All 4 of the enemy destroyers all rushed the same cap at the same time. Naturally, Jim's also fired up his sonar. There may be some torpedoes ahead. And yep, there they are. Friendly Shimakaze, no doubt very, very grateful for the warning of the torpedoes, heading on his position. Jim switching his fire to the gearing over here, who looks like he zigged when he should have zagged. The rest of the destroyers, well, there goes the gearing. So there's his first kill. More torpedoes spotted. Oh dear, there goes the Z-52. Kill number 2. Who's next? Shimakaze? Yeah, let's go for the Shimakaze. Well, 2 Shimakazes. 1 less now, of course. Kill number 3. 1 Shimakaze left. This is the last destroyer on the enemy team. His torpedoes are spotted, despite the fact that he fired them in smoke. And oh dear, Jim's only going to be able to bring 3 turrets to bear, although it looks like he might eat 1 of those torpedoes. Yep, just the 1. Repairs the damage. Focuses back on the Shimakaze. If he can kill this guy, despite the fact that he's sitting in front of a Montana and a Hindenburg, if he can kill this guy, he's going to go undetected. And yep, got him. Unspotted. Thank you, enemy destroyers, for the smoke screen, and for all rushing the same cap as a radar and hydro Minotaur. Your service. Oh, you've got to be kidding. I mean, really? Seriously? What is up with destroyer players these days? But anyway, Jim's not done just yet. There's that Montana. And the Hindenburg in the background. He has also, just in case you hadn't noticed, assisted in capturing Charlie. And since there was no contest over at Bravo, the team had captured Bravo as well. One of the enemy cruisers had to capture Alpha, because the destroyers were all busy suiciding. There go the torpedoes. Oh yes, the Minotaur has torpedoes as well, just in case it wasn't obvious. And at this range, his semi-armor piercing is just tearing right through the upper armor belt on that Montana, And there's kill number 5, but no Kraken Unleashed. This is a clan battle. You can't get those awards in clan battle because it's too easy to rig the game and farm them. But Jim ain't done yet. 2 enemy ships left, both of them cruisers. There's the Hindenburg over there, who's rapidly retreating, but does manage to do significant damage to Jim before he can actually get the ship angled against his armour piercing. But oh hello, I spy a smoke screen with some shots coming out of it. It's an enemy Minotaur, and he doesn't have the radar consumable. How do you know that, Jingles? Well, it's pretty obvious by the fact that he's just deployed a smoke screen. Unfortunately for him, he now can't see what he's shooting at. And Jim has his radar ready to go. Not that he actually needs to use it, because that Minotaur is now firing from smoke so close to the friendly Hindenburg that he's been proximity detected. Jim still doesn't even need to use his radar. That guy's firing blind, and holy shit, did you see those citadels? Did you see those citadels? And there's kill number 6, and that just leaves a half-health Hindenburg. And Jim does have a damn good go at single-handedly sinking every single ship on the enemy team in this particular clan battle, but the rest of the team are frankly getting tired of him showing off. And the Yamato takes the kill instead, which is absolutely fine. So, yeah, that just happened. Yes, really. So how do you follow that? How about Middle Rush on 2 Brothers? They're always popular. This is Happy Waffles in the Scharnhorst. And I do have to say, his team didn't take a whole lot of persuading to do this. I think they've been watching videos on YouTube. I have to admit, I do always feel kind of vaguely guilty every time I put a video up of the team doing this, because I know it's going to encourage people to do it more when they get this map in random battles. And it so very, very rarely actually works. I mean, there's 2 ways of doing this. Either the entire team goes down the middle mob-handed, hopefully without popping a smoke screen in the middle like that guy just did, announcing to the enemy team that you're coming, because there's no aircraft carrier, so you hadn't been air spotted on the way, and also obscuring your team's view of exactly what's waiting for them around the corner until they clear the smoke screen. Oh well, nobody's perfect. Or if you can't convince the whole team to come with you, and you're really good, you can do it alone. I've seen Flambast doing this. In fact, I've put videos up on YouTube of Flambast doing this, and tying down more than half of the enemy team, trying to kill him as he keeps threatening to come around the corner in the middle of the channel, but he never does. Meanwhile, the rest of his team are just cleaning up the flanks, and yeah. I don't recommend trying that unless you are very good, and I'll leave it up to you to judge exactly how good you think you are. The simplest way to make this work is for pretty much everybody to do it at the same time. Even then, it's very, very risky, because as you clear the mouth of that channel, you're sailing into a crossfire from both sides. And all it really takes to ruin everybody's day is one well-positioned destroyer. Could it be that guy? There was a Minakaze there. There he is. Not really a well-placed destroyer, for one thing. We can see him. If he was a well-placed destroyer, we wouldn't be able to see him, and we wouldn't be able to anticipate the torpedoes that he's fired. Yep. Okay, Waffles took one of them. In fact, Waffles took 2 of them. And they hit him on the nose, so they did cause flooding, so he is forced to use his damage repair consumable. Luckily, this is where the carnage really begins. Königsberg, like many other Tier 5 cruisers, made entirely out of citadels. Königsberg is a good ship, but it's a good ship because it's got very good guns. It's not a good ship if you beach it sideways on in front of a Scharnhorst at that kind of range because you were concentrating on getting your torpedoes away. Oh well, never mind. Plenty more where that one came from. What makes this so risky for the team that tries it, as I said, is because when you sail out of this channel mouth, you're sailing into a broadside. The advantages should all be with the defending team. And yet, these guys seem to be the ones getting caught in the crossfire. I don't understand how this is happening. It's There goes the Omaha. Looks like he managed to get his torpedoes away. Unfortunately, he sank right in front of the Miyoko. So I don't think the Miyoko is going to be able to get his torpedoes away. The wreck of the Omaha is going to block it. You can kind of tell that Waffles Scharnhorst is secondary spec here. There you go, there's the that's the Close Quarters Expert Award. In the ultimate insult, he didn't even bother to look at the Miyoko. He knew the secondaries were going to finish it off. And, well, with the threat to his starboard side pretty much fully neutralised, he's now totally clear to exit the mouth of the channel and start engaging these two French Tier 7 battleships, Lyons. I quite like these ships. I have one myself. Lots and lots and lots of guns. Arm's not great, of course. And the guns are larger caliber than the guns equipped on the Scharnhorst. And it's got 16 of them. But they don't load as quickly as the guns on the Scharnhorst. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Guys, we've talked about this whole showing broadside business. Do we really need to explain why it's such a bad idea? It appears that the lead Lyon has actually learned his lesson and he's now turning in so as not to expose his broadside to Waffles Scharnhorst. But look at where he's going. He's actually cutting on the inside of the island over there. And that's going to present him with a bit of a problem. Well, two problems. First, he's sailing inside torpedo range, and secondly, he's got nowhere to turn. So he's only really delayed the whole showing the broadside thing. If he wants to turn away and get outside of torpedo range, oh, this is going to be a paddling. Might not kill him, but it is going to hurt. And the secondaries have set him on fire. And he's probably still going to eat a torpedo as well. So was it all for nothing? There's another fire from the secondaries. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yep, he ate a torpedo too. So, yeah. So much for that idea. Secondaries pounding him. But with the combined battering that he delivered to that guy, both with his secondaries and his primaries, he's at nearly 110,000 damage done. And more importantly, he's sinking enemy ships. Doesn't quite have the shots against that second Lyon. And takes a fair old bit of damage from the Lyon's massed gun batteries, but now he's got the broadside of the Badioni to shoot at. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The Badioni, like the Königsberg, is a good ship. But it's a good ship because it's got very good guns. You don't really want to be sailing closer to the enemy battleships in one of these things. The torpedoes aren't that good. And like the Königsberg at Tier 5, it's made out of citadels. Go on, give him the rear turret as well, why not? Oh, one of those shells looks good. Yep, good enough. Excellent. Now there's only 2 enemy ships left. Oh man. Skip forward a few seconds, cut out the boring parts, and we rejoin the battle just as the Lyon takes another main battery salvo right through his broadside. But you really have to cut this guy some slack at this point. I mean, where's he supposed to go? There's only 2 ships left. And the Belfast on the other side of the map has his own problems. Also, this poor guy in the Lyon. Have a look at the team scores. He's got 5 kills. I mean, he's earned a Kraken Unleashed. And he's going to lose. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but it is kind of funny. I mean, seriously. How is it possible to do this well against a team that pulls a ridiculously dumb tactic like this and yet still fail to win? It should never have happened. If the majority of that guy's team hadn't been a bunch of absolute potatoes, this would never have worked. But they were, and it did. Well, anyway, I feel that after putting up so many Two Brothers middle map rush videos on YouTube, where it goes right. I thought that I kind of owe it to the World of Warships community to redress the balance slightly by showing you what usually happens in the overwhelming majority of cases when a team does try to rush the middle on this map right at the start of the game. Particularly when there's at least one competent person on the defending side with the torpedo launcher. This is Chess Devil, and he's in the Akazuki, Imperial Japanese Navy Tier 8 destroyer. The Akazuki only has one torpedo launcher, but it can also equip a torpedo reload booster and a smokescreen. Now that's a pretty potent combination, and I think that aside from the Akazuki, there's only one other Japanese destroyer that can actually equip that combination, and it's one of the premiums, but I'm not entirely sure which one. But anyway, not that it matters. The point is, the Akazuki can. Now, Chess Devil here has already sustained a fair amount of damage successfully, so far, defending one of the capture points against those members of the enemy team who didn't decide they were going to rush up the middle of the map. And his smokescreen is about to come off cooldown. And he's going to need that, because even after using the torpedo reload booster, he does have a fairly long reload on this single torpedo launcher. So in theory, that torpedo launch followed by the boosted torpedo launch should really be the only torpedo launch that Chess Devil gets off against these guys, while they're all clustered up in the mouth of the channel in a big fat torpedo magnet blob of battleships. The Tirpitz just ran himself aground. Now, I'm sure that was deliberate. He saw the torpedoes coming, and he didn't want to suffer the fate of that New Mexico there. They've been joined by a Fuso, and I'm pretty sure there's a Leon just coming up the channel behind them, ready to join the party. The Tirpitz is now burning quite merrily. I'm not quite sure what the New Mexico's doing. He's just sort of sailing around in circles. And, well, here's the thing. It doesn't really matter which way these guys turn. They're going to be showing, ooh, that was a paddle in and a half. And that's exactly the sort of thing I'm talking about. This is the crossfire that you sail into when you come out of the mouth of this channel. It doesn't really matter which way you turn, you're going to be showing broadside and asking to get Citadel. And that's why it's crucial that if you're going to do this, you can't fuck around in the mouth of the channel. You have to get out of there and into open water, where you can actually start angling your armour, and you're not sitting in the middle of a crossfire of guns and torpedoes coming at you from both sides. But that's exactly what they're doing. That Tirpitz, he hasn't moved off the rocks. He's still sitting there, and he's still burning. The Fuso is just kind of sailing around in circles. Oh look! Chess Devil's torpedoes are up again. It took nearly a minute and 40 seconds for Chess Devil to reload those torpedo tubes. And while he was doing it, these enemy battleships have gone nowhere. The Tirpitz is still stuck on the rocks, which means he's a sitting duck for these torpedoes. Chess Devil's smokescreen expires, now they can see him. He starts moving, the secondary batteries start opening up. Oh dear, there's a kill. 2 torpedo hits, Confederate award, and all 4 enemy battleships wiped off the face of the map. And between them, they sank 1 ship. But it's not all about the number of ships that they've sunk. Well, it kind of is. But I'll concede this much. They did successfully manage to occupy, more or less, Chess Devil's entire team with that suicide rush down the middle of the map. And while they were doing that, the rest of their team have managed to seize control of 3 of the 4 capture points. And yet, they're not ahead on points. Why are they not ahead on points? Because it cost them 4 battleships to do it. And they only sank 1 ship. And the best part is, well, actually, there are 2 best parts. All the way through that engagement, one of the enemy battleships did not realise that he was communicating his intentions to that group of 4 battleships, but he was doing it in battle chat. Not team chat. So Chess Devil's team knew at all times exactly what their intentions were. And now he appears to be quite proud of himself. We pulled their entire team back, we got all of the caps. Yes, you do. but it cost you a third of your team doing it. You only sank one target, and now your team are outnumbered. And just how long do you think you can hold on to those 3 capture points with this kind of numbers disadvantage? And their team know it. So yeah, this is what usually happens when a team decides to rush the middle on 2 brothers. It's not big, it's not hard, and it's not clever. And unless you're very, very good, don't do it. Our final clip for the day. That's right, 3 replays for the price of 1. I know. No need to thank me. I am too good to you all. This is a bit of a love triangle. It's a story of a forbidden romance between the USS Missouri, HMS Neptune, and the Tier 10 carrier on the enemy team, the Hakuryu. This is the tale of the carrier that just couldn't take a hint. And the star of today's show is Bartilius here in the USS Missouri. The Missouri has a ridiculously powerful anti-aircraft armament, and that's before you even start speccing an AA captain or adding anti-aircraft modules onto it. What that Hakuryu does not know is that Bartilius is using his Missouri to train his North Carolina anti-air captain. Bartilius is also accompanied by HMS Neptune, and while the Neptune, like other British cruisers, does not get access to the defensive fire consumable, the Neptune and the Minotaur at Tier 10 both have ridiculously strong anti-aircraft defences as well. These two, you would think, would not be a priority target for an enemy aircraft carrier, even if he is Tier 10. You'd think that, and you'd be wrong. Well, I'm pretty much done talking for now. I do have a little bit of a sore throat, so I'm just going to set the remainder of this particular battle to a suitable musical accompaniment as we watch the unfolding story of forbidden love between the USS Missouri, HMS Neptune, and the Tier 10 carrier that just couldn't take no for an answer. Maestro, music please.
Some might say that I'm a loner, but I just call it being free. I am my heart's only owner, or at least I used to be. 'Cause now a wildfire is raging deep inside, and my heartstrings are pulling like the tide, and the match that drew a spark was a single stolen kiss. And if that ain't love, I don't know what is. I've kept my feelings grounded and gone without, all kept within. By these high walls I've been surrounded, walls to her eyes only paper thin. 'Cause now a wildfire is raging deep inside, and my heartstrings are pulling like the turning of the tide, and the match that drew the spark was a single stolen kiss. And if that ain't love, I don't know what is. That ain't love, I don't know what is.
That's it for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.